Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. Today we are going to be repotting a banana plant, specifically a pink Nono banana. This is my fourth variegated banana plant. I have three regular white variegated plants and I absolutely love them. One has grown to approximately 6 feet, so it's getting pretty big for my indoor space, but I absolutely love it. I saw these pink ones a couple years ago and I absolutely had to have one. I held off for the longest time and I finally bit the bullet not too long ago and ordered this beautiful, beautiful pink banana. As you can see, the pink on it looks really subtle on camera, but it is super, super pretty in person. So what we're going to do today is we're going to remove it from the soil that it's in, and my banana plants tend to thrive in self-watering with ponds, so that's exactly what we're going to put it in today. And I have this lechuza pot. It is a little bit dirty on the inside. I typically don't sterilize or clean my pots when I reuse them. I haven't had anything bad happen from not doing that. I guess I just don't see the benefit to it. I mean, it would look a lot nicer, but it's covered by the pond anyway, so I just go for it. But as you can see, this is the outer shell. This is what holds the water. It's the base. And then this is where the plant sits in. The pond goes in there, and then it has a wick to help wick the water up. And then the other part of the pot is you have a water gauge, which you can see there is a little red needle that comes up when it's full to indicate the water level in the base. So let's dig in and get started. All right, and I did get my Nono from NSE Tropicals. I buy a lot of plants from her. She's really great. You can go to her website. If you just type in NSE Tropicals, she's pretty well known. Her website should be the first thing to populate. I've recently started shopping a lot of her Palm Street Lives. It's a lot of fun to watch her and her son Jesse. They are a wealth of knowledge and just overall a good time to watch. So highly recommend that. Yeah, so that's where the Nono came from if you're looking to add one as well. So as you can see, the roots on these are pretty fine. They don't have very chunky roots, and it is fairly well rooted into this pot, so very well established. All right, at this point, I've removed a majority of the soil that it was in. I did lose some roots, unfortunately, along the way. I got a little bit rough with it. When I'm removing soil, I kind of use just like a massage method with my fingertips and just kind of try to be really gentle. Sometimes I get a little bit abrasive with it, and unfortunately, I do pull roots out, but I know bananas are just very hardy plants. In my conditions, I do really well with them, so I'm not too worried about it. The other thing I noticed, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell, I'll definitely show you this after I rinse it, but this was definitely a pup off of a larger plant, and I can tell that it was cut right here. You can kind of see that was probably this main stem into the bigger plant. And this was like a cute little pup off of it. So that's super cool. I've had mine pup a couple of times. They're not real super mature, so I don't think they pup very readily for me, or maybe they have to have specific conditions. I'm not really sure. But I do know that they can pup, and that is probably the best way to to propagate them. I do know banana plants are also tissue cultured a lot. So I think banana plants that you find in like big box stores are definitely products of tissue culture. So I'm gonna go rinse this and then we'll be right back. All right, so I went ahead and gave the roots like a really good rinse. I didn't get super aggressive with it. Again, I don't like get a scrub brush out or anything. I literally just run water through the roots just to loosen up any more dirt that is willing to come out. If it goes into the pond with a little bit of dirt in it, I'm not super concerned. I have never had issues with that. So, you know, there's no need to break out a scrub brush by any means. It does look like I have a dead root here that I am definitely going to trim off. And you can tell it's a dead root. The outer sheath of the root is like coming off here. You can see there's just like that really wiry bit of the root. Oh, and actually there it goes. So I'm like, I do that. I'm very particular about that with my orchids. Some of my other plants, I don't really go through and do that as much as I regimentally like I do my orchids. But yeah, I do just kind of give it a good once over. If there's a big root like that, I will trim it or pull it off like that. So the other thing I like to do is I like to go ahead and just spritz the roots with like a 3% hydrogen peroxide. Just kind of helps, obviously oxygenates the roots really good, but if there's any pests in there kind of hiding that might be hard to see with the naked eye, it definitely helps alleviate any, kind of as a preventative is what I like to think of it as. So, and then there is, you might be able to see better that part where it was trimmed right there. You can see it a little bit better now that it's rinsed. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and pot it up in the pond. All right, so I like to get a little bit of a layer in the bottom of my pot with my pond before I insert my plant. And I kind of judge how much I want in there based on how big the root system is and how tall the plant is. As you can kind of see, I just put a little bit in there to cover that wick that ran through the pot. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's how you pot it up in pond. It's pretty short, sweet, and simple. You know, going from soil to pond might sound like it's kind of intimidating. And when I first started moving a lot of my plants into self-watering pots with pond, I was so unsure of what I was doing. I was really nervous, but it really is this simple. So at this point, I'm going to take some of my fertilizer water and just run it through the pot to make sure that the pond is very well hydrated. And then I'm gonna fill the base up, and then it's good for roughly a week in my conditions. It might be different in yours depending on where you are and the temperature, humidity, stuff like that. I'm in Northeast Wyoming, so we're pretty dry. Pots like this tend to dry out. I do supplement with some humidifiers, but my ambient humidity without humidifiers sometimes gets as low as like 5 to 10%. On a good day, it's about 40 or 50 in my home. So it's pretty dry here. So we're gonna go ahead and get this watered. So the fertilizer water that I use, I buy a gallon of water at the store, and then I do reuse the gallons until they either get punctured or whole or like worn out. And I microdose my plants with fertilizer every week. And I think there's a saying, I can't remember where I heard it first, but it's fertilize weekly. So you're fertilizing your plants on a weekly basis with a week dosage. is kind of the thought process. So that's what this is. And I'm just gonna run it through the pond. And as you can see, our water gauge is all the way at the top there, that little red needle. It is overfilled, but I tend to like to, again, hydrate my pond like that. And then I will dump all of this water out and then just fill the base up because the first rinse with this pond is pretty like silty. There's kind of a sediment that comes out of it, and I don't really like that being in the base. So other than that, that's all you do. So if you definitely have any questions about repotting your plants or banana plants in general, definitely drop them below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys. If you've made it this far, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this one.